Hey honey, so I asked everybody in last video what color the pipe should be and they all said black. Are you cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
All right, so I'm gonna ask him another question. I need your opinion again before I actually give you mine about what businesses always fail. Come with me. ¿Qué pasa? What's up guys? We're here at the new Alpha M crib and we've got the gentleman responsible for all those sexy doors and windows. That's you, right?
Yeah.
And all the sexy stone that's being laid right there. Yep, how are you? Very, very, very good. And you're the one that's painting everything, making it sexy. Thank you. All right, so it's a big party here at the house. So here's my question. All right, so I've got these retaining walls, right? I've got one in the front right there, right? I've also got one in the back, and the back is the big one. Now, the cool thing is that eventually we're gonna have like vines and stuff, like ivy and some like really cool like crawling like roses on the back, but this retaining wall right here, right? It basically needs a color, all right? It's outside of my super sexy like media room and my cool door, but anyway, this wall, what color do you guys think it should be? I've got two different options for you, all right? I'm gonna set them up here. It's either gonna be super dark or should we do it the color of the brick? Here's the question. What color should we paint this retaining wall? Should we make it basically blend in with the house, right? This gray color right there? Or should we go super dark? All right, I'm gonna back up. What color? All right, should it be the same color as the brick and just kind of blend? Or should we go super high contrast with the black? Or option 3, which is dark, but not quite that dark. I need to know your opinion. Something else I just want to show you real quick that I just saw today, which I'm super excited about, right? Look at this. Look at the floors, right? Polished concrete, look at them. Look how sexy that turned out. Oh my goodness. It's so cool. And the thing that I love so much about it is that it's very, very like unique, right? I didn't know kind of like what to expect, but I am just blown away. It looks almost like alligator like scales or something, right? Super high shine, right? It's all throughout the entire basement, all right? How cool is that? And the other crazy thing is that it's actually cheaper to do that than to lay like some type of like tile or flooring. Now, it took about a week in order to do this like high polish, and I think they actually have like one more time coming back before we move in to give it like a super like high shine, but the fact is it just looks so super cool. I saw a video the other day. It was kind of the inspiration for today's video. And it was basically this woman on YouTube talking about like businesses that basically have a high rate of failure. All right, a few of the ones that she mentioned were, you know, gyms are terrible because yes, gyms are terrible. Another business that she doesn't like was FBA business, fulfillment by Amazon, which is what all these dudes on YouTube are trying to teach you how to do, right? Buy my course, I'll show you how to do it. All right, the truth is, if you want to be successful on Amazon, you have to build a brand off of Amazon that you bring onto Amazon. And in that case, you can make a ton of money. And that's what I did at Pete and Pedro, right? At Pete and Pedro, you know, we do $500,000 a month selling hair products. And the way that we did it is that we built a cool brand, all right? But you can't just go to China, buy some cheap shit, stick your logo on it, and expect to start just moving it out, because competition is strong. But there is a way to beat the system that we talk about over on the White Label Empire. If you guys want to check out the White Label Empire, it's my business community. I have built a curriculum to teach you how to basically start a business, how to find products, how to choose which product is going to be best for you, and then how to customize it. But then the most important part is marketing and building your successful, sexy brand. Gentlemen, brand is everything. I'm gonna link down below to the White Label Empire. If you guys wanna come, check it out and join us. It's amazing and we are doing some incredible things. We're building millionaires in there. Something else I'm gonna link to down below is something recently that we launched. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Woo!
Dougie's excited for Icon School.
Oh my God, Dougie's so pumped. Oh, that's how exciting Icon is, which I'll talk about in a second. But first, apparently, I gotta get this dog a treat. Just to show and prove the point that FBA works, but you gotta build a brand, right? This palette right here, 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 this one here, this one here, this one here, 1 month's worth of sea salt spray. Going to Amazon, FBA. Colin, what do you think of Icon?
Dude, it's the best.
Paige, what do you think?
Super sexy.
Icon has officially dropped this week from Pete and Pedro, and I've talked about it before, the fact that we were coming out with this fragrance and the whole process behind it. If you missed that video, guys, it was basically a few months ago. It takes a while to develop a fragrance and then to get everything in, right? Well, this is inspired by one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's one by Creed, and it's called Millésime Impérial. And it is fresh, it is light, it is sexy as hell. And if you guys want to check it out, guys, I'm gonna have a special Empire link and discount down below if you guys want to grab this for a crazy deal. We only got 5,000 units, and so we think we're gonna sell out within the next like 3 weeks. On day one, we launched and it was crazy. And the way that we basically sold so many was because of some of the strategies that we talk about in the White Label Empire, about build the hype, build the list. When you get it, boom, you're sending out an email, and it's literally like bowling for dollars. All right, we crushed it. This fragrance is insane, it's sexy, and it is amazing. I cannot wait to sell out, honestly, because that's the thing. With fragrance, there are amazing margins, which is something I want to talk about. All right, businesses fail, right, all the time. And one of the reasons why a lot of entrepreneurs don't start businesses is because they're so scared of that failure, right? Why is failing so scary? Because, well, you've got to admit to yourself that it didn't work. You also need to admit to friends and family, and it's just embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing to have something not work out that you put your time, money, energy into, right? I know, because I literally am like the king of failure. I've had over 20 businesses throughout my career, and the majority of them didn't work. They failed, or I shut them down because they just weren't basically moving the needle, or they weren't being as successful as I needed them to, right? Even Enemy, right, my sunglass company, we made $2 million over the course of 3 years, but it just wasn't gonna work. And the reason is because the margin wasn't there. In order to scale, right? In order for a business to grow and for you to be successful, you need to make sure that what you're buying it for and what you're selling it for, there's enough difference, or the delta, which is called like the margin, the profit margin. You need to make sure that that is good enough and high enough. Because if it's not, you're gonna not have the money you need in order to do paid advertising or to work with influencers. Margin, if you don't have enough margin in your product, as in like what you're buying it for and what you're selling it for, you don't have the money in order to discount. You don't have the money in order to market. You don't have the money in order to basically grow and scale that business. And with Enemy, one of the big problems was that I built a product that was super premium, but the cost, it was like $30, $35 to me landed. I was selling it for like $100, then I would discount it, right? In order to sell it, I would discount it like 20%. And so now instead of $100, it's $80. Remember, I spent like $30, and so I'm literally left with $50 of my profit margin, which sounds good, but it all depends on how you're actually selling it. I didn't have enough margin or money in that product in order to figure out how to convert cold traffic. If you do not have a business that has high enough margin in order to advertise, you will fail. The second business that always fails is one that doesn't make money. All right, once again, it's about profit. All right, there's so much hype around like, oh, just grow. You want a business that does like a lot of business, right? Top line, that's sexy. Everybody likes talking about top line. We did 5 million, 10 million, 8 million. Well, what is the bottom number? What is that money that you're taking and sticking in your pocket? All right, if you are not a profitable business or running your business in a profitable manner, focused on the bottom line, you will fail. Gone are the days of companies basically just acquiring customers and not paying attention to the profit or the bottom number, right? They would just be like, hey, we're just gonna grow the top line, thinking that at some point, if they grew the top line big enough, then some venture capital company or some big like customer or company would come in and acquire your company for like X multiple of your top line, right? Gone are the days of that, right? Dollar Shave Club, great example of that. They got bought for like $1 billion, right? And the truth is that they weren't profitable. Not even close, because of how much money they were spending to acquire a customer. And then the other caveat to that is you gotta make sure that your LTV or lifetime value is there. You can spend a little bit more to acquire a customer if you know that they're gonna stay for a long enough time that you're gonna not only recoup that initial investment, but you're then going to make profit or money on them in the future, all right? There's a lot of nuance when it comes to pricing. There's a lot of nuance between the fact of you're buying a product for this, you're selling it for that, this is how much you can afford to basically acquire the customer. There's a lot that goes into it, right? Which is why you need to educate yourself. You gotta know the numbers. And that's another business that I see fail. Companies that do not worry about the numbers or that bottom line. They're not focused. They're just worried about growing at all costs. A lot of companies in the men's skincare line or market are going out of business. And the reason is because of this very thing. They are not a profitable business. They either got money from somebody like a venture capital company or somebody, or angel investors or whoever. They raise money, but they never figured out how to make their business a profitable business. And so one of the problems with this is that you just start spending and you think that sales will solve all problems. It will only solve your problem if you're acquiring a customer profitably. Or, like I said, you're gonna make it up long term. If you're not profitable, your business will fail. The next type of business that always fails is one that never figures out the marketing. Marketing is the number one thing that you need to figure out when it comes to starting or owning a business, all right? Having a great product, right? That's awesome, and everybody says that they've got great products, but the difference between great products and amazing products are the companies that actually figure out how to sell the shit. It doesn't matter how great your product is. It doesn't matter if your product teaches blind kittens to read. If you don't have a mechanism or figure out a way to get that information or the messaging out to the masses or your potential customers, you will fail, period. And this is where so many companies go out of business. They never figure out that marketing equation. They think, hey, we built a great gym, or hey, I've got a great restaurant, or hey, I have a great fragrance called Icon, which is amazing, and link below with the discount code. But if you don't have a mechanism to drive awareness for an affordable price, you will fail. And just giving some influencer a few $1,000 thinking that they're gonna save your business is also an indicator that you will fail. Here's the deal, gentlemen. Influencers are great, but they're very difficult to work with. The other problem with influencers is that a lot of times they think they're more valuable than they are, right? Just because somebody has a large audience doesn't equate to making sales or connecting, right? Like you've got somebody that here's an example. If you've got somebody that has like a car YouTube channel and they typically get like, 100,000 views in like 24 hours on their video, right? And you're like, hey, and I'm going to him as a brand, be like, hey, Jimmy, how about, would you promote this product? And he's like, yeah, it's $5,000. And I think, wow, $5,000, that's a lot of money, but okay, because he's got a big audience, right? Well, if his audience isn't connecting to my product or what I'm talking about or what I'm selling, even though he's got a lot of eyeballs, it's not necessarily gonna correlate to a demand or a sale, all right? The best influencers to work with are people that connect or align with what you're talking about, or their audience aligns with what you're talking about. And I know this is like, once again, like a little bit all over the place, but we go into more detail. If you're somebody that is interested in starting a business, like I said, you got to join us in the White Label Empire. This is like what we do and what we talk about. I do an 1.5 to 2 hour live training each and every week in the course. And all of the past live trainings I've done, they're all there for you to go through one by one and learn. I go and share all of the stuff that I've learned over the years of starting literally over 20 businesses. What I've learned, what I've done right, but also what I've done wrong. Anyway, the next thing I've done wrong is have bad business partners, which is the next type of business that always fails. Who you go into business with matters greatly. All right, now, if you guys align ethically, which we'll talk about in a second, great. That's step one, right? If somebody's like a shithead, but they got money, or you're thinking, they're a little bit shady, don't go into business with them, all right? You also need to make sure that your business partners, your skill sets are not the same. They've got to complement each other though, all right? T. Shanley, great example. Kelly was an operations guy, all right? He was the one that was in the trenches doing the work, right? He also had a great experience with branding and marketing through his past business. And so he was bringing that to the T. Shanley table. Rob, he had technical skill, and so he was going to be responsible in handling the development of the website. Then we had a chemist, right? Another great example. He was product focused, and then marketing, that's me. It was a perfect partnership, and that's the reason why we've been able to grow. The other reason why we've basically maintained not only our business relationship, our professional relationship, but a friendship over the years. Going into business with a family member is hard. Going into a business with a friend is also hard. You got to make sure though, if you're going to be doing that, that you're just aware that unfortunately, getting out of a business relationship sometimes is even harder than getting out of a marriage. And a lot of times when money and stress starts to happen, it can cause like rifts. It can also ruin a lot of amazing relationships. So when it comes to business partners, you really do have to be careful. I cannot stress that enough. I've had some good ones. I've also had some really bad ones. One of which almost sent me to jail, which is the next type of business that always fails, and that is one that is unethical or illegal. Here's the deal. There's a lot of shady shit that happens in the world, a lot of shady shit that happens in business. If you're doing a business that is stealing from somebody or basically deceiving them in some way, and that could just mean like your product is really shitty or it's harmful or, whatever. It's not just like a Ponzi scheme type of scenario, right? There are a lot of unethical things. And you just got to make sure that if you are going to go into business that you treat your customer really well, which is, I guess, the last type of business that always goes out of business. And that is one that doesn't care or give a shit about their customers. The fact is, your customers are your biggest advocate, but they can also be your biggest nemesis. If you treat them poorly, if you don't respect them, if you don't respond to them, this is a recipe for disaster, period. Actually, there's one more I got to say. And this is one I just like. Here's the deal. If you're in business, you got one job. Shut the fuck up and sell shit. Do not go woke. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having a cause. Do not think for a second that I think that it's bad to be sensitive to different cultural issues or social issues. Not at all. Do it. 100%. Do it. But don't do it at your business's expense. All right, people are not coming to buy your skincare, your deodorant, your cologne, your whatever, and wanting to hear your personal opinion on something. They don't want to be preached to. How many of these businesses, these stupid fucking businesses, how many of them need to get into trouble? How many of them need to lose market share? How many of them need to basically lose customers because they decide to take a stand when really what they should do, shut the fuck up and sell shit. That's all you need to do. Don't preach to them, sell them what you're selling them. They can get all the preaching stuff from somebody else, and if you are somebody that is so like wants to talk and share and scream from the rooftop your personal opinion about all the social injustices, do it on your own time, but don't tie it to your business or else you're gonna fail.